Hi again. I forgot to mention how to go about finding housing. So you can call 211 from any area, and that will hook you up with like an information center for every state. And also, you can check with HUD and Section 8. You could probably check with your local welfare office. They might have information as well. If you go to a shelter, the shelters will always have information on housing um, and a lot of things that you would need from there. I just said that I would tell you how to go about finding stuff, and then I realized I forgot all about it. And so, just in case you're wondering about the last video, have I ever been in that boat? I absolutely have. I actually lived in Tombstone and had the marshal show up at my house one day and ask me if my husband um, had a computer. And I said, yeah. I said, but it's weird because he like stopped using his computer like 2, 3 months ago. I said, why are you asking about it? I knew the marshal at the time and I knew the mayor and blah, blah, blah. Tombstone's a really small town. And he told me that apparently my husband and his ex wife were making plans to cause me harm, let's just say. And I said, really? Hmm. Um, okay. He said, do you have a computer? And I said, yes, I do. He said, has he been using it? Oh, yeah. Again, it was weird because he stopped using his. He said, can I take the computer and check your hard drive? And I said, well, yeah, if you think it'll do anything. So he took it and he came back the next afternoon and he said, Kim, sit down. I need to talk to you. And that, in fact, is where he found that, in fact, they were making arrangements to have me harmed. He asked me if I'd noticed anything strange outside. And with work, I had just went back to work because I had to have emergency surgery. So I had been out of work for, I don't know, a month and a half. And I was sent to see patients in a place called Naco, which is about an hour and a half from where I lived. So I said, some of the time I'm not here to notice anything because I'm way over there and I got to deal with my patients and come home. I said, but I have noticed on the times when I'm here that motorcycles, while they normally go slow past the house, they are actually going slow. The guys are putting their feet down, they're sitting, and then they're literally turning and looking at my house. So he advised me to move. I was like, okay. So one day I went to work and I came home and I was sending my husband texts, to see where he was because at this point I had already spoke with the marshal. Well, he wasn't answering my text or anything. And the Sunday before, I said, I just want him to quietly go away. I don't want to deal with any of this shit anymore. I don't want to deal with him. And the next Friday, this was when I went to work, I came back, and sure enough, he was gone. He was gone. There was an envelope there, and he addressed it to you. He didn't even put my name on it, you. And in it, he said, here's $100. It should get you through until your first check. And I was like, well, mighty whitey, you piece of crap, considering I just gave you $100 to put gas in your truck. And now you want to make it look like you're doing me a favor, giving me back my money. So anyway, He never said a word to me after that. And I was pretty sure he knew that I had already spoke to the marshal. The marshal said the one thing not great about me is that I'm not afraid of him. He goes, that's the problem, because that kind of fuels his fire, which is why I say don't ever tell your abuser or who, whatever your deal is, don't ever tell them that you're leaving. Don't, because I'm like, who, the bull, like, no, you're not, blah, blah, blah. Don't be that person. I'm not that person now, but I was then in that situation. So anyway, there's a little bit of scoop for you. Yes, I have been in that boat. Yes, he is the one I was saying earlier, worked at Owens Corning, and I went to see him for a week in Ohio when Owens Corning sent him there to close down a plant in Newark that I had to cut holes in my suitcase and hide stuff in so he wouldn't know I wasn't coming back there. Anyway, okay, it took a half an hour last time for the video to load, and it was a 13-minute. I'm a little over 6 minutes now, so I'm going to stop this. We got a storm rolling in, and I want to make sure this uploads. So, again, if you have any questions or comments or what have you, leave them below or email. They'll always be true to you, and I'll get back to you. Okay, much love to everybody. Stay well and happy. Smile. See ya.